I recently was sent some Pen.Tips, which are additions to the Apple Pencil that allow for a lot more precise work in your note taking, in your illustrations, and I didn't think this was going to change anything for me, but it changed a lot. Hi, I'm David Miller. This is my home studio, Primordial Creative. I'm a multimedia artist in Los Angeles, California, in the LA Harbor area. And today we're diving back into Procreate and working with Pen.Tips. This is a product that was sent to me also with this lovely magnetic cover for my iPad Pro. My iPad Pro already had a paper texture cover to it, but that was a sticky film that had been on it for, I want to say, over a year. So, over time it's accumulated a little bit of dust underneath. And when I peeled that sucker off to put this on, it was so nasty. I swear, like, that thing probably was like if you lived in the apocalypse and you came across a car that was covered in full dust. That's how bad my old paper texture iPad cover was. Starting with this magnetic matte screen protector, and it has a little bit of a distance between it and the iPad screen, and I can't tell you how easy it was to put this thing on compared to pretty much anything that has a sticky film. I don't think I ever want to get something that has a sticky film again. I also had to apply some similar kind of protective glass to my iPhone, and man, what a chore getting bubbles out and hair. Having something that has two magnetic strips on the side when you apply it, I don't know why people don't think of this kind of stuff for everything. It's so simple and it doesn't attract dust. Part one of the cool things that Pen.Tips sent me. Number two is the actual tips themselves, and these are screw-on additions to your Apple Pencil. Now, I've never had any sort of extra attachment to an Apple Pencil. In fact, I've had students in school who will like wear their nibs down, and I'm like, I draw every single day in Procreate, and I don't understand how you're wearing your nibs down. But it never even occurred to me that there was a different edition that would make a difference in the art that I make, because my art is big and chunky. I'm a big fan of Frank Miller's art, particularly his Sin City era, where everything's like really big. So I usually get like just some sort of wild brush and then crank it all the way up. I also like Sumie art, which is very instinctive and, free flowing and has variable line width to it. I just tend to go for things that aren't very precise, and I'm not very much a noodly guy, and people who use very sharp Hunt 102 pens when they're doing their inking on, regular physical comic paper. You think of Todd McFarlane, you think of Jim Lee, Art Adams. I just have never been that kind of artist. Well, guess what? I threw on these little pen nibs, and not only did I have access to all those variable line width tools, but I could be a lot more precise with them. And my very first drawing out of the gate is of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle using the thinnest lines I've ever put down in Procreate, and never thought about what thin lines could do for me. But then I started thinking about it, and I thought, what's an art form that has a lot of detail that I really wanted to deep dive into, and I never have because I just hadn't used a precise pen tool before. And that leads me to the fact that just a couple little pen nibs got me going on my manga, Amera manga, faux manga, however you want to say it, for Webtoon called Overshadow. And it's funny where creative ideas come from. I think we talk a lot about maybe our own life experiences, and we talk a lot about things that maybe could be translated towards other media, like, oh, what would be a good TV show? What would be a good book? We do talk about tools, but we don't talk about how tools can inspire the concepts themselves. And it's actually happened to me a lot, where I'll come across a camera in a secondhand shop, and I'm like, what kind of art can I make with this? And a whole series on my YouTube about that kind of concept. And it turns out you can make different kinds of art with different kinds of tools, and you put a tool in a very creative person's hand and something different will come out of each person. Some people will not respond to the tool very well. Other people will suddenly have doors of perception blown off, as if they've taken some sort of psychedelic substance or had their third eye opened or the scales fall from their face. I think most of us have gotten used to using pen tools, pencils all of our lives. And me, some 40 years under the belt for using a pen to draw with. And I can't see where my line is all the time with a pen tip. I know exactly where my line is, and it feels exactly like all the kind of illustration I've done up until I got into Procreate, but now I have the Procreate tools added. Number 2, writing in the Notes app kind of stuff that you do on an iPad. I never liked it with the Apple Pencil. And the reason was my handwriting, when I draw with an Apple Pencil that's not a pen tip, looks like a maniac made it. But when I do it with a pen tip, it looks like my regular handwriting. And then when it translates into the iPad Notes font, it looks the way it's supposed to look. I mean, it's reading my letters more legibly than when I work without the pen tip. Precision, working with small lines, having my handwriting be more legible. If I was inclined to hand letter my own comic, now I could do it. I don't think I could have done it with an Apple Pencil before. I just think like the imprecision and not really having it baked into my body how hard my pressure is on paper, it just doesn't work for me the way that the pen tip stuff does. So I look forward to trying more attachments to my Apple Pencil. I didn't realize that this whole universe existed out there up until now. I've been augmenting Procreate with, brushes and textures and other things that I could bring into it. But there's a lot you can do to supercharge your illustration, graphic design through additional augmentations of your tools, and Pen.Tips was a great addition. There is an affiliate link in the description of this and all future Procreate videos. Go ahead and check it out if you want to help support the channel and you want to augment your own creative endeavors with something like Pen.Tips. Best of luck to you. Talk to you next time.